Hi, it's Eric with Brook to River Fly Fishing. I have an exciting video for you today.
This is a likely big fish spot.
One thing that's important to me as an angler is to always keep learning. I never want to get to the place where I'm just satisfied with where I'm at. One of the biggest goals of my channel is that as I learn things, I want to pass them along to you all as well. I've been learning lately that big trout don't always come from the obvious spots where you think they'll be. A lot of times they come from places that are slightly more subtle. In my past 3 fishing trips, I've been fortunate to catch 5 trout, either at or bigger than 20 inches. And today, I want to share with you my tips for finding and hopefully catching these big fish. When you're trying to find and catch big trout, first of all, you need to actually be in a place where big trout live. Not all rivers grow giant trout. A giant trout in one region might not even be considered a big trout in a different region. Big fish are still big fish. They're going to need the same things whether they're on the East Coast or the West Coast. One thing that I've learned over the last couple of months is that big fish are in the locations that they're in because they have to be. They're not in those locations by accident. 3 things that I look for when I'm looking for places that might hold big trout is, first of all, cover. Why do big fish need and want cover? Simple, because if they don't have it, they're more likely to be eaten by a predator. Trout that are big have gotten big because they have used cover in the past. That's how they've survived. That's how they've stayed alive. This could be physical cover like a rock or a log jam or an undercut bank or branches overhead. Or it could be something that I kind of call water cover, where the water itself is actually creating cover that makes it hard for predators to find them. Different types of water cover that I like are just water with some depth to it, water that has a uniform depth and then has a little bucket or a pocket in it, depression, or just water that has disturbance on the surface of it. It doesn't even necessarily have to be deep. It just has to be riffled enough so that the predators can't see down through it in order to find the trout. Birds of prey are some of the top predators of trout. Eagles, ospreys, herons are all types of birds that catch and eat trout. Other predators of trout are otters, bears, and humans. By staying close to cover, trout can help to make sure that they are safe when these predators are trying to eat them. The second thing that you need to look for when you're looking for places that could hold big trout is current. Trout need food. In order to get big, they have to eat. And while it's true that big trout might just sit and wait for a while and then eat one big meal every once in a while, they also like to position themselves so that they're close enough to food sources that they can get an easy meal when it comes by. A lot of times that means they need to be in or near to the current. They need to position their spot where they hold so that if food comes to them, they can eat it. That's how they get big, is they have food coming to them, eating it constantly. There's lots and lots of spots in the river where there's cover for trout, but not all of those spots have the food source coming to them with the current. There are times when trout will leave their cover and come out to the middle of the river to feed if there's a heavy hatch or if there's darkness or something like that. But most of the time, if there's a big fish in the river, you're going to find them near some type of cover. The third component to a big fish lie is that it needs to have oxygen. In the summertime, that's super important because big trout need to have oxygen as well as the cover and as well as the food source in the current. Now, this can mean that these lies are either in or near to rapids in the summertime, or it could mean that they're slightly downstream from a set of rapids. In other words, if there's rapids just upstream that are providing the oxygen that's needed for the fish, a little bit down, there's a good lie with cover and with food source current. That could be a great place for a trout to hide.
This is a likely big fish spot because you can see it's got the dark green color that shows it got some depth. It has the current funneling down along that side right through those roots. The roots and the tree give all kinds of protection from overhead predators. It wouldn't surprise me at all if there was a big trout in here. Why? I just lost a monster brown trout. Right in the bottom of this root wad. It ate right in the front, right here.
As you can see in that last clip, just because you know where a big fish is or should be, does not mean you're gonna land it. I figured there was a big fish there, I made the right cast, I got a good hook set, and immediately, the second that I hooked that fish, it was right back into the bottom of that log jam and it broke me off. However, one thing about big fish and big fish lies is that they tend to be creatures of habit. If that spot where that fish was holding was an optimal spot and it was providing what the fish needed before in order to get big, there's a chance that fish is going right back to that spot and will be there the next time that I come back and fish this section. I've marked that spot in my mind. I have where that fish was located. Next time I go back, I'll have some heavier tippet. I might even have a different rod, but now I know that that's a spot where big fish live. If you like this video and find it helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel. Also comment, like, and share with your friends. I've been learning lately that big trout don't always come from obvious holding lies. Sometimes they come from places that are much more subtle. And it occurred to me that I was overlooking and walking past a lot of possible holding lies for trout. This was exactly the case with my new personal best brown trout. This was not an obvious holding lie for a giant trout, and yet there it was. I want to show you some video clips of some big trout that I've caught recently, as well as the lies that they came out of. This is going to help you understand hopefully how the 3 things that I've talked about go into what you're looking for when you're looking for a big fish spot.
This is my new personal best brown trout, and this is the fly that I caught it on, a size 18 Gasolina Paragon. I caught this fish out of this little depression just in front of these rocks. The water there was slightly deeper than the other areas, and there was just enough current that was funneling through there to bring food to the trout. There's a good one. Oh man. Yes! Oh my gosh. This is another great fish that I caught recently as well. I caught this one on the same fly that I caught the other one on, a size 18 Gasolina Paragon. I landed this fish out of this shade line right here where the water had a little bit of depth to it. It was also just downstream from a set of rapids, so oxygen wasn't a problem. Jeez, you've got to be kidding me. This fly actually produced 2 great fish. This nice bow came from under this big flat rock down here in the deep spot, and this brown trout came from over underneath the branches on the far side, right up along the bank. I caught this great brown trout right before dark one night, sitting right next to this rock in a deep little run. It was using the rock for cover, and there was some more fast water upstream.
There's lots of spots in the river that have some of these things. They might have current food source, and they might have oxygen, but they don't have cover. Or they might have cover, and they might have food source, but they don't have oxygen. You need all 3 of these to consistently find spots that hold big fish. Another thing that I've been trying to do lately is thinking through what my exit strategy is. When I have a spot that I'm pretty sure is going to hold a big fish, either from past experience or because it has all 3 of the things that we've talked about, before I ever make the cast to try to catch that fish, I'm already thinking about what I'm going to do to get that fish out of there and then hopefully land it. I am not what I would call a big fish expert. I've had some success. I've caught some big fish. I've caught more big fish lately. But there are people that catch way more and way bigger fish than I do. Thank you for watching this Brook to River fly fishing production. Hopefully it's going to help you in your quest to find more and bigger trout. I've been learning, and my goal is to have you learn along with me.
Now that you know a few things to look for when you're trying to find a big fish, you go catch a big fish and let me know how it goes. Bye.